What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to head on over to Washington, D.C. because I want to take a little bit of time today to speak on Jasmine Crockett. We're not going to spend too much time on her. This is probably going to be one of my more shorter videos because I have more pressing things to get to as far as news is concerned. But I did want to touch on what's happening with Jasmine Crockett right now, because it does appear that what I call the Jasmine Crockett experiment is failing right now. It's definitely failing right now because if you haven't noticed, at the top of the year, the first half of this year, she was everywhere. The Democrats were pushing her heavy. She was all over like the little MSNBCs and other little Democrat podcasts, portraying this image of being this kind of loudmouth, over talking, ghetto slang talking sister girl female, snapping her fingers, long fingernails, big weave coming down her head, all that kind of stuff.
And what we not gonna do is stand around while they pull this bullshit that they trying to pull right now.
Go ahead.
And that was an experiment that was attempted in an effort to help rebrand and reshape the Democrat Party in efforts where they're failing miserably concerning policy, right? Follow me for a moment. As it pertains to the Democrat Party and essentially the collapse of them, currently, as it pertains to 80-20 issues, Democrats fall on the 20 side of every 80-20 issues. So policy-wise, they're cooked. But one area that they notice that Trump has his biggest strength in is his authenticity, right? His authenticity is really primarily what got him elected in 2016. And as more people warmed up to who Trump is as a person and just accepted it for better or worse because they understand the policies that he's putting in place is what America needs, at that point, Democrats realize and understand that, hey, we have an authenticity issue ourselves, especially coming off of the tragedy that was the Harris campaign, where this woman couldn't even string 2 sentences along to save her life because she herself was being extremely fake, portraying an image of herself that just actually wasn't true to who she was. That's why she failed so miserably, right? So with that, now you have Jasmine Crockett, who they're putting out there and testing the waters with to see, how does this work on the American people?
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off.
That's it.
Is this the type of authenticity that our party and that the people are actually looking for? One of the other things that you might have noticed also that I've highlighted before is that Democrats, they're using more profanity in their speech now. When they do interviews and podcasts, they curse a lot more now. If you haven't noticed that, pay attention to that, because they're doing that a lot more now too, in an attempt to capture the essence of authenticity. The problem is that it still comes off as being fake. But homing back in on Jasmine Crockett, the whole ghetto sister girl, neck snapping, loudmouth act, it just doesn't work. And it didn't work. Take a moment to look at this here and you let me know, is this somebody that people could really take serious on a national stage as her fame grows and we're looking at the direction that the Democrat Party is being pushed in? Is this someone that's going to help the Democrats acting like this, what I'm going to show you right now, or is this someone that actually hurts the Democrat because of her nasty personality type that she's portraying? Look at this video here.
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down.
No, because this is what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want
Calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a
Mr.
problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right.
Chair,
I don't know why
okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes.
I mean, they tried it, didn't they? They tried it. Here goes another clip. It's not as intense and crazy, but just understand, being in these committee hearings and on the House floor and using this type of language, it's honestly, it's just unacceptable and it's unprofessional.
Speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bull. We need to stop playing, because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions of anybody else. And the Constitution says Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the
gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time has expired.
So once again, this was an experiment, right? And it's an experiment that's failed. And why can I say that with confidence that it's failed? Because if you've been paying attention to her, she was out there everywhere for the first 6 months of this year. She kind of disappeared the last month and a half, you can say, maybe a little bit longer. It's been kind of quiet. But now she's reemerged over the last, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks onto the scene. And with you could say a whole new look. We see her here, with the weave and everything in her hair. And that's kind of something that she's known for. And now she's reemerged onto the scene, looking like this. If you see her now, every event that she speaks at, let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. But every event that she speaks at now, her hair is short and natural, right? She doesn't have the weave in her hair anymore. The nails are a lot shorter. And for the most part, from what I've heard from her speaking so far, she's not as loud, as brash, as obnoxious, like as much as she once was, right? Because they're understanding within the party, and especially with her own self-realization, that this is not what America wants. That's not going to win you elections. This was a failed experiment. No one else in the Democrat Party conducts themselves the way that we have seen her conducting herself over the last 6 months. Some more than others have a little bit more spice to them. I guess AOC has a little bit of spice to her, you can say, even though her spice is wildly inauthentic as well. But it's there. But none had, spice, for lack of a better metaphor, as much as Jasmine Crockett. But it's failed miserably, and it's turning on her now, to which she has to rebrand herself. But then you also have pieces like what recently came on Atlantic, which was not the most flattering, right? She actually attempted to shut that piece down. As you can see here in this article titled, Jasmine Crockett tried shutting down Atlantic reporter for asking lawmakers about her friendly profile. Now, mind you, in that Atlantic piece, Jasmine Crockett took part in that, thinking that it would be a fluff piece, thinking that it will be something that would help her in her rebrand. And who's to say whether or not it helps or harms her, because it's not really, it wasn't a fluff piece, but it also wasn't her just getting dragged through the mud completely as well. But her issue with this was that she didn't know that the article writer, the author, was going to go out and interview other Democrats in her party about her. And that was where the issue lied. Check this out right here. I'm only going to read the first 2 paragraphs of this article, and then I want to hop over to another one. But let's read this for a second. Representative Jasmine Crockett lashed out at an Atlantic magazine reporter last week after the journalist reached out to other House lawmakers as part of a profile on the far left congresswoman. 4 days before this story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I had reached out to so many House members without telling her first. Atlantic writer Elaine Godfrey noted in her story, which was published by the magazine on Sunday. Well, why would you have an issue with her reaching out essentially to her coworkers? Well, because she knows the truth. And she knows that as it pertains to her coworkers, as I'm calling it, right, but her Democrat colleagues, she's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with the act that she's been putting forward as being this loudmouth, brash kind of ghetto female, something that she is not, by the way. She's not. She's playing a role. This is something that I discussed with Sheldon Daniels, who's a Republican that's running for that same seat that Jasmine Crockett is in, and hopefully seeking to replace her, which is something that I hope that he does. I hope that he's very successful in that. And hopefully I get an opportunity to speak to him again, right? But she understands that if you go around and you start asking others in the party about her, you're not going to get the best responses. You have some lunatics that are fine with her actions and her antics, but most are not. But let's get back into the article and round things out. Atlantic writer Elaine Godfrey noted in her profile to the far left firebrand that several Democratic lawmakers refused to discuss Crockett on the record for the piece. I think those are those who are more party loyalists than loyal to Crockett. I think that they feel that if they speak out against Jasmine Crockett, it hurts the party more than it hurts her. So they would much rather just not speak at all. And I get that point of view coming from them, right? But check this out here. Senior Democratic staffers explain, not her colleagues, by the way, senior Democratic staffers explain that some of Crockett's colleagues find her undisciplined, but are reluctant to criticize her publicly. See what I'm saying here? She likes to talk, one of the staffers told Godfrey. Is she a loose cannon? Sometimes. Does that cause a headache for other members? 100%. You see what I'm saying? 100%, the senior staffer stated. So once again, this is what leads me to believe that Jasmine Crockett is actually on the way out. And that's another reason why some people are speculating that she's trying to revamp her image, with the whole short hair, short nails, things of that nature, right? The rebrand isn't going to work. There's a saying that I heard once before that's really, really good, right? And the saying is, you are who you pretend to be. So be careful who you pretend to be, right? And Jasmine Crockett played the role pretending to be this ghetto, loudmouth, weave-wearing, just douchebag, honestly. And that's ultimately her own undoing, right? The very thing that Democrats were looking for in authenticity turned around to bite them in the butt by having a woman once again portraying the role of being someone that she is not. You're seeking validation through authenticity while still being fake. And here you are. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. Jasmine Crockett is cooked. She's cooked, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also, please do not forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. Link to my Telegrams in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. And to the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.